So we still have garden style, but more and more brides are asking for no greenery, okay? They want color, focus, they want texture. This is just a trend that I'm seeing everywhere. So less and less greens. If they are doing greenery, a lot of times it's less eucalyptus, it's a little bit more tropical foliages, things like that. So using more color, well, Amy, that's expensive. What do we do? Greenery fills the space, right? Well, what you can do is use filler. And I see filler being used in a different way now. I don't see it necessarily in your traditional sense, but I really try to focus on the color story. So I'm also, bouquets and color theory are my two passions. And if you came to my class yesterday, we talked a lot about color theory. But one of the things that I do is really focus on finding a similar color of filler to the flowers in the design. So I'm trying to create sort of that repetition. So I use a lot of filler, and what I do is I remove these bottom laterals, like so. Limonium, great. Status, great. Coming up in very traditional flower shops, I sort of had this like disgust for status and like anything filler related, like, oh, I don't want to use it. But it's actually being used in totally different ways now in the floral industry. It's really being used in mass. It's being used as sort of this carpet of color and texture. So I want you to think about filler a little differently. If you just think about filler as filling space, that's one way to use it. But a lot of times now we're seeing it in mass and installations, on big arbors, and also in bouquet making. So what I do is I take off all of these lower laterals, because I really don't, as some of you may know, when you're making a bouquet, you don't want anything here in the binding point, right? We want clean, clean, clean stems. So I'm going to remove these. Now this never goes on the floor, right? This isn't trash, this is money that you paid for in the stem. So I'm going to separate those shorter laterals because they're actually going to be utilized as the base of our bouquet. So I'm going to take these long stems, and these can go in funeral work. These can go in tall arrangements, right? And then I'm going to take these little short pieces and clean off the stems, so again, nothing in the binding point. Stack them together, I mean spiral them. And then this is gonna be the base of my bouquet, right? And then I'm gonna come in here and layer, and I'm gonna do a demo for you in a little bit of that, in a little bit more detail. But you can do the same thing with a stem of status. You're gonna remove these bottom laterals, save these, use this for something else because you have all that stem length, so use it higher if needed, and then use these lower in the bouquet to layer your more expensive blooms on top. Cool?